Alright, everybody, we are back with more Odyssey goodness. What have we got? Interesting, back to Creatorforce. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I remember what Creatorforce's last Odyssey was, but they've definitely made one before. This one is The Legend of Sauda. Help Sauda journey through the temple. Oh, journey into the temple, sorry, I can't speak. And save the world from evil bloons, but watch out, bloons might have some ability. By Creatorforce. Okay. So, very chill maps so far. Don't be what I think it is. Okay, that's fine. I honestly thought it might be Sanctuary for the last map, but very pleased that it's not. And it's not an extreme mode Odyssey. Oh, so far so good. What are we dealing with? Okay. Least tiers 13, primary only tree stump. That's quite doable. Yeah, we can do that. Sauda's got us covered for most things. We'll probably need a bomb shooter or something. Other than that, Sauda can clean up pretty much all of the camo balloons. And balloon speed increasing by 25% probably doesn't change too much about that. Balance, hard impoppable, 200% ceramic health and Moab health, but we start off with 20 grand on round 47, so that's not too bad. 3 rounds without any Moabs. And then ceramics are just going to be a little bit of a pain there. Up till 74. Okay, not bad, not bad. Hard double HP Moabs. And then it's just sort of classic setup. 1 to 60. Least cash, however, only 30,000. So we've only got 30,000 on town center to pop a double HP BFB, which I think we could easily do with a single boat. Just a monkey pirates. Seems pretty chill. Maybe we can do it that way. Adora's Temple, hard standard, all camo, 15 to 65. 7,500 start on round 15. Okay, that's ill. That's easy. I was going to say easy and chill at the same time, and I came up with ill, which also kind of represents what I wanted to say, because it's sick. Alright, and then shoots, hard impoppable, 50,000 to start off with. This is going to be a breeze. Screw this all camo thing, it's going to be a breeze. But I shouldn't be saying that too early, because I don't know what the towers are and what the restrictions are, so let's have a look. Ooh, okay. Heavy tower and monkey restrictions. Don't know why I'm doing that. Right. Still giving me crossbow master. That's a big no-no. Still giving me recursive cluster. That's a big win in my books. Yes and yes. Is that what I want? I probably want to space it out a little. Because typically I'll grab a lot of one thing, but I won't use it all on the one map. Unless it's like an extreme mode, then I'm preparing for multiple maps. So, is there any weakness with the towers we've picked? Camo detection, none. Lead popping power, not really. Or at least not consistent. I like what we've chosen. Maybe an alchemist. Maybe we'll ditch a second druid for one alchemist. Just in case we want to alch buff someone, either Sauda or a dart monkey or something. It feels right. And then the rest I don't think are super necessary. Wait, isn't there a primary only map? There is. Tree Stump. Can I beat Tree Stump with just a bomb shooter and Sauda? I'd say so. 9 times out of 10. Is there any others that I should be aware of? No. Everything else is just use what you got. Alright, let's jump straight into this. I love Sauda. Sauda's absolutely not my favorite hero, but by far my most used hero. So this should be pretty chill, because I think this has been in a CT before as well. Like this map with Sauda and potentially a bomb shooter is what I would have used on a CT map similar to this. And that's actually amazing to me, because like I didn't think CT would prepare me for Odysseys, but it feels like it is. It's strange. But anyway, I'm absolutely loving the CT. Alright, and then we want a bomb shooter there. Perfect. Nice. Pretty hectic week for me so far. Nothing, well, to be fair, it's not actually too hectic, but I had myself that job interview. I don't know if I was talking about it in the last Odyssey or whatever, but in the last video I did. But I had myself a job interview lined up, and I did it, and all seemed to go well. And so they said they'd sort of get back to me. But it was cool because, well, there is a tiny little hiccup, which I'll go into a bit more detail about later, but essentially they're still building the place where I would be working in the future. So like it's a recent building, so they're looking for people to hire to, you know, take over that store and sort of look after it. It's like a retail position. And essentially, because they were still building it, they were just like, all right, let's not talk in here, let's just go to a cafe or something. And that was quite nice. There's like a cafe nearby that I can just, you know, sort of pop into if I choose to work there and all that. But yeah, we had a nice chat. Brought out my resume, which honestly was a first for me. Like every other interview I've been to, I've just shown up and they've just been like, right, we've got to ask you a couple of things and then you're good to go. And I've been like, sweet, easy, ask away. But for this one, it was the proper fucking like business sort of interview you'd see on TV, where it's like, we all sat down, a folder was opened, my resume was pulled out, tapped on the table a couple of times just to shuffle all the pieces in place. It wouldn't have surprised me if there was a stapler there ready to just sort that shit out. But no, it was screw you, Blue Balloon. It was really funny because that never happened to me before. Never did they actually take out my resume. Mainly because, you know, 9 times out of 10 you send it online, so they look at it online and they don't, you know, they just scan for the information that they want. And if it's there, then they'll ask you to come in and won't really look at the resume again. But in this scenario, they did look at it again, which was interesting. And they questioned me about a few things because I put on my resume that one of my hobbies was bouldering, which it is. I do love me some good old bouldering. If you don't know what bouldering is, it's essentially indoor rock climbing. And the two people that were sort of interviewing me were like, what the fuck is bouldering? Is it like, you know, those strongman competitions where you pick up a giant stone and like put it over like a little couple of sticks lined up sort of thing? Is that bouldering, or like heavy lifting shit? I'm like, no, it's just indoor rock climbing. Nothing crazy. Which I found personally a little bit hilarious because they both looked at me like, the fuck is this guy? But yes, so far so good. Also, I've just realized this is least tiers, and it gave me a least tiers to sort of meet minimally, but this isn't CT. I can keep going. You know, there's no penalty for me to, you know, not use up the rest of these. Everyone can, so I may as well do that, and then I'll get bigger bombs just so it's nice and evenly split between the team. Easy. Also, I do think it's very important to get Sharpshooter and Recursive Cluster before going into the two sort of side paths, just because they're the big players. The Recursive Cluster is definitely a big player, and Sharpshooter gets those crit hits. Mwah, beautiful. Anyway, so yeah, went for that interview. They said, you know, we'll see how things go and all that good jazz. But there was one little tiny annoying little detail that kind of got me less excited about the opportunity, right? And that was, essentially, they're building this new place for me to, not specifically for me to work there. God, that would be nice. But no, they're branching out as a company, and they need people to, you know, hire and look after the new store. So they're building their new store with the construction and all that good jazz. And obviously they're gonna need someone to be there, so that would be me. And I live quite close by. So, you know, early starts, fine. Late finishes, fine. I've got that shit covered. I can manage and be the best of my abilities. Shit'll be great if I got the opportunity to work there. The only problem is I need to be trained in how their register system and their fucking all that barcode scanning and beep, that'll be $3.99 please. You know, I need to be trained in that system because I haven't worked in retail before. So the only problem was There are the 2 stores where I could be trained because, you know, if I'm being trained, I need to be there. And so does someone else who's qualified to be there. And so they're expecting me to go to one of their other stores, which is in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. So that's not going to be fun depending on how many days I need to do this training, quote unquote. But yeah, other than that, the job seems pretty legendary. However, and I did mention that this was a candy store, so I'm okay with that. But yes, so the real problem. Ooh, do I want Sauda in the middle? Sauda would be good in the middle. Yeah, okay. I've immediately convinced myself. Right. Sauda in the middle, put Wizard on this side, maybe Bomb Shooter on the other. Something like that. And something like this. Easy. And then, I don't know what I'll do next, but I'll do something big. Maybe a Crossbow Master right here. Yeah, we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Just 1 second though. Alright, sorry about that. Just had to say hi to my mum. She just got home. So, I think that'll sort us. Am I correct? Yeah, Recursive Cluster will get the Wizard going, and then the Wizard's got everybody else going, and Sauda's gonna massively level up after this round, so... Nice. Ability. Cool. But yes, after I applied for this, and I was like, oh, you know, training's gonna be miles away compared to, like, where I live, which is gonna suck. But then, out of nowhere, and it was hilarious because my mum was actually talking about this before, but it was sort of like in joke, in passing, you know, so we weren't exactly expecting it to happen, but one of my mates, who works very close by, in like a local supermarket sort of thing, he messaged me out of nowhere and was like, hey, this store that's connected to the store I work in, but isn't technically a part of it, like sort of like connected brand and building wise, but you know, technically different stores, they're looking for someone. And my mate personally was asked by the person who's hiring people, does he know anyone that's looking for a job? And he was like, I just might. And so, technically, I could also have another job opportunity coming up, like, in the perfect spot for me to work. Like, there are 2 sort of shopping districts near me. One is literally, like, 2 streets away from my house, which is fucking beautiful. Sadly, you know, it's a very tight, close sort of community, and I don't think any of those shops have ever said that they're hiring, just because it's always like, oh hey, I've got a friend that lives locally, blah blah blah, get them in, don't even advertise the job sort of thing. But the second closest shopping centre to me, that's where my mate works. And that's where I'm potentially gonna be working, because he said to the boss lady who's hiring everyone, I've got a mate, very competent sort of thing, can smash this job, just gotta train him up. And then she's been like, okay. And technically there's some sort of legal requirement for them to advertise the job, at least, to like the sort of quote-unquote public. Some sort of policy and procedure to do that. But there's also a slight way to get around that, which is kind of what I'm in the process of doing. So, essentially, the job was not advertised yesterday. And I don't even think it's been started advertising today. I think it's still not been put out in the public for people to look at and be like, oh, maybe. But I'm allowed to put in what they call an expression of interest, which essentially means, you know, you go onto their website and you say, hey, I'm interested in a job with your company. Within this area, within these stores, within these hours, either full-time, casual, part-time, all of that, just you basically filling out exactly where you want to work. And like when, why, like what store locations, all that good jazz. You're getting all of that sorted and saying, this is my ideal, you know, working conditions if I was to work for you. And then basically, if a job comes up with those specifications, like, oh, this job's just opened up, and it's nearby that person, and they wanted these hours, and they're looking for part-time or whatever, then immediately you sort of jump the gun on the applications list. So essentially, before the job is even announced, I'm gonna be first one on the applications list to my knowledge, which is gonna be beautiful because, you know, as far as my mate has told me, it's essentially gonna be open the job up. Oh, look, there's someone. You know, bring him in for an interview, bang, close the job. Because that's essentially how my mate got in, because I think he's got like a family member that works in the same sort of business, so he got in a similar fashion, right? So potentially I've got a job that's sort of served on a nice silver or golden platter, sort of waiting for me to come and take, you know. And I've been following all the steps to make it happen and get there. I haven't been in contact with the person hiring just yet, but you know, I've done all the in-between for now. So now it's just a moment, or not a moment, now it's just the waiting game, essentially. Just a waiting game. Anyway, I think that's gonna happily wrap up this map. I did also want to say that I have made, well, I essentially want as many people to be involved in this as possible, which is why I'm saying it. But I have, in fact, reached the 600 subscribers, which is an insane amount for me personally. And I'm doing a little bit of a giveaway, and I'll probably link the video at the end of this video. If you want to check that out, it's a simple little thing, just a way for me to give back to you guys who have supported me over the years and all that. So really appreciate that. Wanted to give back a little, and yeah, there'll be a little giveaway happening. I'll link it a bunch throughout, you know, the next few videos so you guys get a chance to see it. And don't worry, it's not going to be happening like tomorrow or next week. There's plenty of time to, you know, sort of sign up for it, just because it really pisses me off when, you know, a YouTuber does something special like that for a limited time, and then you're just watching the video maybe like a day or two late, and it's like, oh, sorry, it's done. You know, that's annoying to me. So this one's got a long time for you guys to sign up if you're interested. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. Anyway, it seems like Crossbow Master, Necromancer, and our Recursive Cluster have all just slaughtered this map. Well played, and that's it for part 1. Part 2, as usual, will be coming out tomorrow. Legend of Sauda is kicking off with a bit of a bang, and I love it. Alright, so what have we got for tomorrow? Double HP mobs on Town Center, 1 to 60, that should be chill. Adora's Temple, hard standard, 7,500 start, that's easy. 50,000 start from 65 to 90, that's also pretty easy. I don't see how we can mess that up, especially because the bloons and mobs are nerfed. Yeah, they're all camo, but honestly on this map I'm thinking just immediately throw down a Spirit of the Forest and you basically win. Because you can just jump from 5th tier to 5th tier after that. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have a look. Anyway, so that was part 1. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.